another edition of Celebrate You Live. I'm LaWanna Bradford, visionary and co-founder of Celebrate You with my amazing co-founder, Miss Barbara Beckley. Barbara, how's it going?
We're good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. I'm going to mute myself in a second, but I'm just excited that we have Miss Patricia Rogers in the house, Dr. Patricia Rogers, who is the CEO and founder of Unity in Service. She is a visibility strategist. Ladies, if you don't know who Dr. Rogers is, you've been under a rock because this woman is known all over the world. She is out there promoting, celebrating, elevating, lifting entrepreneurs, helping them to realize and actualize their dreams in life and in business. And we are so honored that she's here with us. She is a celebrated, decorated, honored veteran in the military, veteran in correctional services. The list goes on, but we're going to get into how all this stuff came to be a little bit later on in the program. But right now, I want to step out of the way of greatness and welcome Dr. Rogers. Patricia, how are you doing?
Hi! Is this my computer that has my mouth moving slow? Is it me? Can you all hear me? Okay, well, I'll just keep talking. But at any rate, yeah, coming out of corporate America, 29 years, I had to actually do a mindset shift because as I attended some of the trainings that Mr. Bill Walsh had, who's one of my mentors, and he was the first major investment that I made in myself. And when I would go to his training, he was teaching public speaking training, and I would hear him call out the cost for public speaking was what, $15,000, $20,000, different packages that he had. And oh my God, I was ready to run out of there because in corporate America, they paid for all of my training. They paid for the trips. They paid for everything that we did. And if we spent on anything, they was reimbursed. So it definitely has to be a mind shift. And a lot of times that's what people have not experienced. They have not really actually addressed that issue, you know. And then too, we're used to putting people before us, especially women. We are all caregivers. Most women are caregivers, and we are accustomed to putting everybody else before us, ourselves, and that's another thing. So when it's time to spend money on ourselves, we just sort of put ourselves on the back burner. But I want to say to the listening audience that if you want to be successful, you have to make an investment in yourself, because other people are going to have the services that you need to achieve the success that you're looking for. And therefore, you have to make that investment. And I'm going to tell you something. Making investments in yourself. Self is not always what you see, meaning what we tell ourselves, well, I can't do that right now. Well, we can do anything we want to do when we really want to spend money, whether it's on a pair of shoes, whether it's on clothes, whatever we want, a new car, we find that money. But when it comes time to invest in ourselves and to invest in the services that we need, that other people have, we become selfish sometimes and self-centered. And sometimes the thought process is that, well, I'm going to make them rich. I'm putting money in their pocket. Or, you know, I'm not going to pay them that much money. But in reality, you're putting money in Walmart's pocket. You're putting money in Publix's pocket. You're putting money in the car dealers' pockets. So guess what? Like, people need people. And we have to realize that people are our best resources. So therefore, we must invest in ourselves. And I'm going to say this. If you choose not to invest in other people, we will get what we put out. And what we put out will come back to us. So that means a closed fist will never receive the rewards that are waiting on you. I worked for 29 years. Shame on me if I didn't have money to invest in myself. Because those 29 years, I'm bought about 4 or 5 cars with my 2 children and myself, and everything we wanted, we had. So you know what? It didn't take me long to change my mindset and to realize that I deserve everything that I wanted in life. And God had already given us the visions. I'm retired. I did tell Bill, what you keep, because we rode on a private jet. We was on the red carpet. with the celebrities. I mean, we it was called lunch. Stayed in the hotel over $500 some a night. I hadn't done all that work for America. I was used to working all along. That was overtime. So it was new to me, but it was so awesome. Such an awesome experience, and I don't regret any moment of it. And I have certainly can say that today I have definitely, with all of the skills and the gifts and talents that I have discovered within myself, I can certainly say that today I have definitely more than reaped a return on my investment.
I want to jump in, Pat, because just to rewind a little bit what you were talking about, the vision, and no one holds the vision but ourselves, and obviously if it was divinely inspired, God. But the question here is again, are you willing to invest in your own business and your own vision? And to those that are listening, I'm challenging you. I'm like throwing the gauntlet down on the table and asking, are you truly sold out for your vision that you will do what it takes monetarily, time wise, establishing key partnerships to ensure that your vision becomes a reality? As Pat has already mentioned, she's given many examples before she had to say, okay, I want to get here. So I can try to do it all by myself and take the slow road, or I can partner with individuals that have the skills, the knowledge, and the abilities and experience to help me navigate through the waters a little bit quicker. And I want to just share the story. I remember it's a naval story. So Pat, you can appreciate this being in the military. And they were having issues with this particular submarine. So they brought someone in who was a consultant who had 40 years of submarine experience. The person came in, kind of tinkered around a little bit, was there maybe a couple hours, came back and said, I fully diagnosed the problem, and told them what the bill was going to be, which was $50,000. And they're like, this doesn't make any sense. You were only here a couple hours. Why are we paying you $50,000? He said, because you're not paying me for the time that I was here. You're paying me for those 40 years of experience that I had working on submarines. So we realize when we're investing in that skill set, that knowledge, that we don't have to spend years and years and years and years of developing, right?
That's right. Yes, I'm glad you said that, LaWanna, because and I granted there is what we call a grace period, a growing period. In corporate America, we call it a probationary period. So I know that even though we have lots of years of experience in this entrepreneur arena, what we have to understand, there's still, like I said, public speaking training, sales training with women's, all these trainings we take with the Women's Prosperity Network, all the events that we go to that other influential entrepreneurs are hosting, so that we can get the information that we need to develop ourselves, our personal development for us. And at the end of the day, those are the periods that we go through, the money, the thousands of dollars that we're paying out, because that's what they're worth. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. When we shortchange ourselves, we get what we get. So I don't even ask questions about the cost, because whatever you say you charge for the insurance or whatever it is that you're going to teach us, I'm either in or I'm out. But I know that you are a woman of class, a woman of quality, and this is follow our hearts. If we follow our hearts, our pocketbooks will follow. But again, it goes back to what you said before, the mindset. And years of experience does matter. And I've just been telling myself, okay, you've been doing this for a while now. It's time for you. There are some things that I do that I'm always looking out for the other person's pocketbook, but just trying not to be so expensive. And sometimes I have to question myself. Lately, I've been questioning myself. I say it's time now for you to stop lowballing yourself. I'm passionate about how I show up for other people, and I put a lot of time and I invest money in my appearance, because I want to show up for the world, and I want the world to want to be a part of what I have to offer. And based on how we look when you talk about investing in your vision, if you have a vision, then that goes right back to branding, which is the event that we're going to have coming up on the 13th. If we're not branding and putting ourselves out there, then guess what? Nobody sees us. And it also goes back to us when we were in school. How many times the kids come to school and we would look at some of their clothes and kids would get laughed at because of the way they were dressed? So that was their brand. That was the brand that they carried to school because of the home that they lived in, the environment that they came from. So our business is the same thing. Just like Publix. If every time I see Publix, it's the same logo, it's the same color, it's the same everything. What makes it that I have a logo and I'm on this platform with green, I'm on it with blue, I'm on it with purple. My logo is red, purple, and white. That's my brand. And that's what you all should see. Every time y'all see Pat Rogers, you're going to see some red. How about that?
I love that. I'm gonna go back to a little bit of a challenge for our audience. So we heard Pat talk about the brand and what that means. Not just the bow that we put around it, but the brand. It's your promise. It's how you represent yourself. It's that consistent delivery. But again, if you're not willing to invest in your vision, then you're just a lot of talk. You're just a lot of talk. And I was talking to Barbara, and Barbara, I'd like you to share a story. And I'd like you to just be as transparent as you're comfortable with about an individual who you thought was going to be a client, but because of your generosity, she got what she needed. And so I'm going to let you tell the story.
Yeah. So got this client, was gonna be a high value client, I was saying, and we were talking. So like Pat said, pull out all the stops. They know that you are gonna bring it. So I had everything together. I even brought in my business partner. LaWanna was part of that. And we talked to her. She was gonna be part of the social media thing that I was doing. And weeks passed, we would meet. I would make sure if she asked for something, I'm like, here you go. Ask for something else, here you go. Then I started saying, okay, let me start sending an invoice now. Because now I've been putting all this time and effort, making sure that she's straight, getting information, everything. And then all of a sudden, invoice, did you send that? Are you sure you sent it to the email address? I'm like, yeah, I sent it to the one you gave me. In fact, I sent it to 2 email addresses you gave me, not just one. And they didn't come back. So I don't know what's going on. You got to check. She said, I'll check with my accountant. So that went on. She played this game for a while. To the point I just said, you know what? Wait a minute, Barbara. I had to do like a self-back. Said, why are you letting this person do this? Why are you letting them do? You did all this work. And then to the end, she can't even pay down payment on it or anything. Come to find out, I had to wind up basically making a decision. And I had to basically say, you know what? This contract is null and void. First of all, due to the fact that I did not get any payment. And I did almost 2 months of work. 2 months of work. And that story stays in my head every time I'm putting out a sale, talking to somebody, whatever. Because I said, I got to believe in, I always say, got to believe in yourself and what you're worth. Don't let people do that. So that's why I learned from that whole situation. But, first I was like, dang, I did all that. And then I looked back at everything I did. I said, boy, I did a lot of work.
Yeah.
And then what's so people understand when you have a team, I still, even though she didn't pay me, I had a team member that was helping me do the work, and I had to wind up paying her. So that came out of my pocket. Now I had to pay that, contractor. So you have to make sure that you, invest in getting the clients that's gonna. But see, the whole thing I say is respect the craft, respect the experience and the knowledge that we have. Because when you don't pay, because when you don't pay, I know it's a part of payment and money, but when you don't do that, you just respecting the person and what they do.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you something else. I want to jump in on that, Barbara. Also, just to add to what you're saying, because you're so on point, and we know that those types of people are out here. I want to say that when people, those kinds of people, what they don't, I'm going in. Can I go in? Listen, but those kinds of people don't understand. I'm talking about me, you, us. What they don't understand is, guess what? We are ahead of the game because we have been giving a spirit of what I call discernment. So we know who we're dealing with, And I'm going to say this, when God shows us who we're dealing with, people, we have to accept it, be grateful that it came into the forefront so that we can stop investing that time over there so that we can invest in those other people who are waiting on us to value what they're looking for, and then we can serve them. So I said that because I have been challenged on that. I have get my feelings hurt. I go through my emotions because they're not treating me the way I'm treating them. But you know what? At the end of the day, God has the final say. And I said, okay, God, this one's on you. You allowed me to see it, so help me be grateful that I see it, and now I can make a better decision to move forward with my life. Because those kinds of people will keep you in an uproar. They will stop you from being happy. They will stop you from following your vision because of the time that you're investing in worried about what they did, why they did it, how they did it, and you're waiting on the opportunity to tell them off. I ain't mad at it. But those moments can't happen, and I've learned to be grateful. And I'm even at a point in my life right now because I know who I am, and I know the value I possess, and I know I give over and abundantly more than, you know. But I'm at a point in my life where I just ask God to just keep me humble. Even if it feels a hurt, you know, sometimes you bring people together, and before you know it, they gone in the sunset and they left me behind. But you know what God told me? He told me, he said, let me tell you something. He said, it comes a point you outgrow. And I called you to bring together. You've done what you were supposed to do. You've done it. So now I have to get the flesh. I have to bring that flesh under subjection because I'm still human, y'all. Come on, stay with me. But God lets me know it's time for you to elevate from that. You got to go out here and level up to some more people, not only so that it can increase my personal development, but so that those people that I'm going to connect with could be. And then he asked me another question, LaWanna. Can I tell you what else God throw in there? He said, I still have doors of opportunity for you. I was just passing through there. So y'all, I'm going to tell you something. This thing is real. And I'm going to tell y'all, if you think people are going to treat you the way you want to be treated, the way you treat them, that's not what it's about. It's about you doing what you have to do to invest in your own vision at any cost whatsoever, and never mind all the foolishness that comes along on the wayside. You got to leave it on the wayside because God is still opening doors. He has doors waiting on you. And you stay stuck in that part right there. That longer you stay stuck right there with that negative stuff, and those people who have sucked the blood out of you, just what you said, guess what? You'll never make it to the next level. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I'd like you to play the video that we have, because this video, to those that are watching, you know, we're talking about investing in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, fruit sort of follows. And so we're going to show you how Pat has been celebrated throughout her life, throughout her professional career, throughout her business career. But it came from investing in studying, investing in, again, the partnerships, the training, the education that she needed to elevate her game to get to the next level. And when she gets to the next level, guess what? She's going to be investing a little more and a little more and a little more. So with that, Barbara, let's see this video.
I know she's in here somewhere, and we're going to get started with a video on her.
A wise woman creates more opportunities than she finds. A phenomenon, an icon, the lady in red. Her mission, the #1 sought-out virtual event coordinator who sets a platform for entrepreneurs to be seen and heard so that they can achieve even more wealth. This speaker grew up in sunny South Florida, the last of 8 siblings, 12-year veteran of the armed forces, class leader of 43 recruits, earned a BS from St. Thomas University, Bachelor Award nominee out of 132,000 employees countywide. She trained thousands to excel in their careers. Retired correctional lieutenant after 29 years of service. Transitioned from CO to CEO. Mentored by the finest leaders, and she is a visibility strategist, international best-selling author, international public speaker, recipient of a Business Icon Award, the Gene Lynch Lifetime Achievement Award, Uncommon Leadership Award, 100 Successful Women in Business Award, the Shining Star Award, the Women of Achievement Award, known as the Networking Queen, and host of events that rock. The speaker is a member of various organizations. She is known as Miss Powerhouse. This speaker is inspirational and energetic. She will inspire you to get up, suit up, and show up. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the CEO of Unity in Service, where people need people. Put your hands together for Miss Pat Rogers. Pat Rogers.
Awesome.
I love that. I love that because again, it's some people say, oh, LaWanna, people put that together and that's being braggadocious. No, it's not. It's humbly being grateful and thankful for the seeds of genius that God has planted around you that you've allowed to harvest in your life. And you're showing the world, hey, look, if he did it for me, he can do it for you. So no, it's not being boastful. It's to me, it's honoring the giftings that's around you, and it's okay, and it's all part of what we say with Celebrate You. This is about loving and celebrating yourself. And I read it in a Christian magazine a couple years ago. It said, if you expect the world to stand and applaud you and you can't applaud yourself, guess what? It's not going to happen. So, Pat, we just thank you and honor you for all that you do, all that you are to our community, all that you are to the world. You're a bright, shining star. As Barbara Beckley always says, you are truly a queen diamond. But we don't want to end this without you telling the listening audience, what do you have coming up? We know you got 2 events, one next week, one in June. So tell us what you got.
What I have coming up is we have on May the 13th, we have an event that's coming up. It's called Maximize Your Brand, which is behind me here. And my people saying yes to call because we want you there to share your community. Because what our goal is to connect individuals. A lot of times we women are always saying, let's stick together. So what I do is when I set a platform, I so many of you who are doing great things, I want to give you an opportunity to let's do what we say we're going to do, connect people together. And people don't know, my network don't know what your network is doing, your network don't know what mine is doing, mine don't know what Bob is doing. So I believe when we all can just kind of bring it together, then people get to hear what we're all doing as a unit, and then that way they can also join us. And this is how I always came up with the tagline, people need people. Thank you so much for putting up the link. It's maximizing your brand. Eventbrite.com. You can also access that event as well as the upcoming event in June, which LaWanna will be speaking at that event as well. And that would on PatRogers360.com. PatRogers360.com takes you to all of my websites, all of my social media platforms, as well as you can schedule a calendar link. We also have opportunities for public speakers to share their message from the stage. So we've hosted 5 events. This will be our 5th event this year. We'll be hosting one more, possibly, and that will be in October, if God says the same. We hosted 8 online events last year, and all of our themes for our events, basically the little conferences, because this is a free webinar coming up, is entrepreneurs living a dream.
Thank you so much, Pat. We appreciate you being on. We know we'll be seeing more of you this month. One thing I just want to tell the ladies, again, when you're selected as Celebrate You Woman of the Month, again, you kind of have the The door is open. You can post, you can advertise, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to adhere to the rules, you know, just keeping aligned with the values that celebrate you. So you'll see Pat popping on and off, and don't wonder, well, why is she able to do this and I'm not? It's because she happens to be Celebrate You Woman of the Month for me.
How about that?
But also,
you know, so all I can do is put the word out. But I thank you all so much for making this my month. I'm very appreciative, and it's Mother's Day month. And I'm in a new location. So everything happens in good time. So thank you for this attention. I appreciate it, and I receive it.
thank you. Thank you so much. We want to wish you and to those that are watching, mothers, aunties, godmothers, single fathers, happy Mother's Day. We just honor you for all that you do and all that you continue to pour into us. And to those of you who've lost your mothers, our hearts and prayers are with you during this time as you reflect on the wonderful memories of Mom. So the other thing, real important, May 21st, 7 to 8:30 p.m. Celebrate You 2-year anniversary. Be there. It's virtual and it's free. So there's no excuse not to show up.
It's free.
Also, I'll continue to share because we want a really awesome time. We always have awesome events. You remember y'all and Lulu coming out in May. And I'm just excited. I love you ladies very much. I love your class. I love your intelligence, and I love what you stand for. And God has blessed you to this level, and I certainly am happy to be a part of your journey.
Thank you. Well, until next week, we wish again all of you happy Mother's Day weekend. And Barbara, what do we always say?
Love yourself. We'll wait for Pat. Embrace yourself. There we go. And whatever you do, celebrate